The bitter ramifications of Jorge Martin's bombshell Aprilia decision. As we always say, there is no smoke without fire. And today, the smoke is thick. Because the fire underneath is not just burning, it's consuming the very loyalty that once held a champion together. When I first heard this news, I was stunned. What? Jorge Martin wants out of Aprilia already? It didn't seem real. But once I started digging deeper, I realized this wasn't a random spark. This was a storm brewing for months, hidden behind fake smiles and PR interviews. Today, let's decode exactly what happened, why Jorge Martin wants out, and why, no matter what happens next, nothing good is coming from this. The day everything changed. It was 3rd June 2024, the day Jorge Martin pulled the pin on the grenade that detonated the 2025 rider market. Ducati had intended to promote Martin to its factory team alongside Pecco Bagnaia. Everything was set. Everything was smooth. Until Marc Márquez made his move. Márquez told Ducati he would not accept a works bike at Pramac and was ready to walk away if not promoted. In a flash, Ducati pivoted. They chose Marc Márquez for the factory seat. They left Martin out in the cold. Feeling betrayed, Martin turned his back on Ducati. Aprilia saw the opportunity, threw a big check, and got his signature. One of the biggest shakeups in MotoGP history was complete. The ghost of loyalty. Fast forward almost a year, and once again, Jorge Martin is ready to walk. This time, not from Ducati, but from Aprilia, the very team that saved his factory dream. The news first broke through motorsport.com in Spanish. Martin, it seems, wants to trigger a performance clause in his contract. A clause that says, if by the French Grand Prix I am not in the championship contention, I can listen to rival offers. The deadline has passed, and the facts? Martin has completed exactly one sprint race in 2025. Crashes, injuries, misfortune. He missed nearly the entire start of the season. Yet somehow, the world champion believes he's seen enough. He wants out. A harsh and unfair judgment. Let's be clear. Aprilia hasn't had a dream season, but blaming them entirely would be unfair. Since the beginning of the 2025 season, Aprilia has had to move forward without Martin. They rebuilt, gambled on a rookie like Ai Ogura, and leaned on Marco Bezzecchi, who struggled on fresh tires. The only light? A 5th place by Ogura in Thailand. And despite all this, Aprilia stuck by Martin through his injuries, through his absence. They fought hard, not just on track, but in boardrooms, changing regulations so Martin could test the RSGP upon return. And now, this. A rider who barely turned 13 laps this season wants to declare the bike not good enough and leave. It's more than a professional decision. It's a betrayal of loyalty. Aprilia's no-win situation. So what now? According to reports, Aprilia will legally fight Martin's attempt to escape. And they should, because letting him go easily would make them look weak to riders, sponsors, and fans. But here's the painful truth. Even if Aprilia wins the legal battle, they've already lost the war. You can't force someone to race for you with passion if their heart's somewhere else. You can't inspire your mechanics, who sacrifice 22 weeks a year away from their families, to rally around a rider who thinks he's too good for them. You can win in court, but you lose in the garage. That's the reality Aprilia faces today. Jorge Martin's crumbling legacy. This move could destroy Jorge Martin's reputation forever. When Aprilia signed him, they staked their future on him. They gave him the keys to a full factory project. He was supposed to be their reference, their Marc Márquez, their Quartararo. Now, he's becoming MotoGP's most unpopular world champion. No charisma like Márquez, no humble smile like Pecco, no raw magnetism like Quartararo, just cold ambition. And it's costing him more than just fans. Was it always going to end like this? Martin himself had low expectations for 2025. In January, he said bluntly, "If I were to start from 5th and finish winning races, I'd be proud. The ambition isn't the title this year." He knew Aprilia was a work in progress. He knew it wouldn't be easy. So why the sudden panic? Why this rush to tear the contract apart? Because when things go wrong, some riders fight harder. Others look for the nearest exit. Martin, sadly, chose the latter. The fallout across the MotoGP grid. The shockwaves from this decision could rock the entire MotoGP market. Martin is managed by Albert Valera, the same agent behind Pedro Acosta. Honda now becomes the key player. They have an open seat. Luca Marini is out of contract. Johann Zarco is pushing hard. But if you're Honda and you can choose between a 20-year-old Acosta and a 27-year-old Martin, who would you choose? Acosta is the future. 15 more years of potential. Raw speed. A once-in-a-generation star. Martin, already at his peak, already showing loyalty issues. For many manufacturers, the risk of signing Martin now outweighs the reward. A dangerous road ahead for Martin now. Where can Martin go if Aprilia cuts ties? KTM is no better off than Aprilia and embroiled in its own financial crisis. Yamaha? Not interested. Ducati? That bridge is burned. Honda? Maybe. But only if they pass on Acosta, and that seems unlikely. He could find himself without a factory seat in 2026. A world champion, exiled. Just like Andrea Dovizioso, who priced himself out of the market in 2020. Aprilia's painful lesson for Aprilia, this betrayal is a brutal lesson. They gambled everything on Jorge Martin. They bent rules. They backed him in public and private. They gave him everything a rider could ask for: loyalty, trust, belief. And now they are left picking up the pieces. Massimo Rivola, Aprilia's CEO, will have sleepless nights. He tried to buy a dream. Instead, he got a nightmare. Final thoughts. Sometimes it's not about who is faster. It's about who stands taller when things fall apart. And when Jorge Martin walked away, again, he showed the world exactly who he is. A fast rider? Absolutely. A world champion? Sure. But a true leader? Someone you want in your garage, fighting with you when everything's against you? That, maybe not. As we always say, there is no smoke without fire. And this fire has burnt more than just one contract. It's burnt trust. It's burnt loyalty. It's burnt legacy. The real battle isn't legal. The real battle is for Jorge Martin's future. And right now, he's losing.